Yo.
Wrong Canadian jerk-off. Please send in the other guy.
Oh, no, I'm actually here to tell you that Linus Ullmark, in his last 7 starts, is 7-0-0, has a .967 save percentage, and is averaging less than a goal allowed per game.
That's really great, man.
I can't believe that this is how you guys have felt for over a decade. It's the most incredible feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Having real goaltending is a total game changer.
Yeah, it is. But just wait for the playoffs. Ullmark had some struggles with us there.
The playoffs? You just wait for the... That is the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Ugh, I know, and I feel gross. I hope you lose 10 straight.
Still nicer than usual. Why only 10?
Because I like when Buffalo has the longest losing streak of the season.
Dude, what the f***?
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That's not a dub. It's not a dub. It's midnight. But if you're going to stay up till midnight after staying up late basically every night this week, and you're tired, and you're working hard, and you got to wake up early tomorrow, and you're just tired, this is the kind of hockey game you want to watch if you're going to stay up. What a great game. What a great game. That was a great hockey game. I don't know. I'm not even that frustrated. Yeah, they blew a lead. And we're going to talk about how they blew a lead. But there's a lot of positives from this game. There really, really are. There's some frustrations, like some real frustrations, but there's some really nice stuff here. Let's talk about the Oilers for a second. We'll introduce them as this is our first meeting of the season. 11th on the power play, which seems low. 26th on the penalty kill. 8th in goals for and 12th in goals allowed. McDavid and Draisaitl have combined for 21 points over their last 5 games. Jesus. Ridiculous. The Oilers, they started slow again this year. So did their goaltending, just like last year. Well, they're 8-2 in their last 10, and Stuart Skinner has a .911 save percentage in his last 5 home starts. So they're picking up steam, much like they did last year. I really wish McDavid... I want to see McDavid hit like 180 points. I really do. I think it'd be good for the league. I want to see it, and it's a bummer that he's not on pace for something ridiculous this year. I mean, he's on pace for an excellent season, but just not something unbelievable. I've talked about our transition defense plenty throughout the season. Big, lumbering size, but we have reach, and if there's a team that you're going to be real concerned against with your transition defense, it's the Edmonton Oilers, and they did get us. They did get us with their transition offense for one of the goals, but for the most part, pretty solid defensive structure against a team that really had the opportunity to rip us apart with their speed. And I'm hoping this is a sign that the Bruins are really getting better at handling their structure. It's a little funny because this Oilers roster going into the season looked like an offensive juggernaut coming in. Just an absolute dynamite top 12. Just every line can put a puck in the net. And they're doing fine. They're not as unbelievable as we expected, although long season. It's only in game 34 for us. We might see them pick it up. We haven't seen the best of them, I don't think, as far as an offensive team. The Bruins going into the season were looked as a defensive titan, and the best has yet to come for that squad either. Kind of an interesting crossroads for these teams as they go against the polar opposites of team building. And neither one's playing at their true best in that regard. I don't know. I just found it kind of interesting. For the Bruins, the lineup's going to be Geeky Zakapasta, Marchand, Lindholm, Brazeau. No changes. Frederick Coyle Wallstrom, his debut with the Boston Bruins. Kostelic, Beecher, and McLaughlin. Zadorov, McAvoy, Osterley, Carlo, Lori, Peak, Swayman's, and Net. Johnson is on waivers. Tyler Johnson, who could possibly have seen this coming. I'm not upset. I'm not going to dunk on it because Tyler Johnson is a PTO. Fine, whatever. I get bringing him in. I genuinely, you can go back. I was like, okay, I don't know why we're signing him. I understood the PTO. I didn't understand actually giving him a contract. But they did. And He's fine. It doesn't negatively really affect the team. It's a roster spot, but it's not like the team's hurting that badly in that regard. So, fine. And then Johnson isn't very good. And he goes on waivers, and he's either going to get grabbed or he's going to live in the AHL until we need him due to injuries or something along those lines. Very predictable. A lot of people really argue with me about the cup pedigree and everything, but age is a thing. Age is a thing. I don't think those people were like stupid or anything. I understand where they're coming from, but it just wasn't a belief of mine. And it does appear that maybe I might have just been right. Like, I'm subscribed because I was right about something. Nailed it. Also, Discord link below. And those who are a part of the high quality inspectors group, I greatly appreciate you. If you want to join and support the channel, it is incredibly helpful to your boy. Wahlstrom debut. I just mentioned it earlier, but I'm really excited about this. Not because I think he's going to be a game changer, but if he fills a bottom six role where we've had a little bit of a revolving door, McLaughlin, Johnson, we've seen those lines mixed up a lot. Kepke's coming in and out at this point. Kepke will come out of the lineup to put him in. Just if he's a guy that really settles in, it's a huge help to us. I liked his debut, but we'll talk about him. I am surprised to see them go back to the Osterley-Carlo pairing that looked abysmal last game. And we are going to talk about that pairing as well, but maybe Sacco is just sitting there going, no, I think this can be an effective pairing. I gave him one game together. Everyone can shut up. And I think everyone includes me. I can shut up. Like, let's see if they can form something. We'll go from there. Just a side note here. A little side note. Matthew Patra, do you remember that guy? I remember that guy. He's been down in the AHL for a little while. I don't think he belongs there. He has 12 points in his last 8 games in Providence. Hasn't gone a game without a goal since December 1st. Why is he in the AHL right now? Why? A win here would mean a very successful road trip. A tough 5-game road trip out west with some really good teams. One that you started 0-2 and got outscored 13-2 on. If you can come back home being 3-2-0, what an absolute win that would be for this team, and an important road trip that could be seen as kind of an uplifting one for the squad in general. You probably already know the result of the game, but I still wanted to say that. Let's talk about this game. Drops! Be quiet. It's the middle of the night. 107 in. This is a simple dump and play. And I didn't realize until the end of the game. Elias Lindholm made 2 plays in this game. That's it. He made 2 plays. He dumped in his puck. And he is going to wait for Marchand to get below the net, grab the puck, cycle it back up to him. He's just off the goal line. He's down in that left corner. And he's just going to throw it on net. Throw it to the crease front, whatever. Somehow squeaks through Stuart Skinner. And it's 1-0, $1.07 into the game. Right? That was one play from Elias Lindholm. That's 2 games in a row where a shot just squeaked through a goaltender. We'll take it. With the shooting luck this guy has had, he deserves these. I'm not going to sit here and be like, he's only scoring because they're seeing eye pucks. I mean, yeah, but also, like, you make your own opportunities. Good for him. Short side goal, 1-0. I'm going to spoil something. The only other play I genuinely remember from Elias Lindholm tonight was in overtime, when he prevented a scoring chance. We were scored on right after that. But he did a great job preventing this initial scoring chance. And when I saw him, I just went, 28. Oh, that's right. Where has he been? Weird game for him. And I don't even think he was a bad Lindholm game. He was just very, very much in the shadow of a few other players that were pushing hard this one. 7:33 into the game, into the first period. It's a great play from the back end on an exhausting shift where they were hemmed in. The Oilers are going to do that to you. I'm not going to get on this team about the amount of times that they had to survive shifts in the defensive zone. That's just part of it. But McAvoy collects a loose puck along the wall, and he lobs a pass to Pasta, who catches it on the opposing blue line, tosses it down. It's a breakaway. Skinner knocks it down with a glove. Oilers have plenty of zone time at this point. We're 7:30 in, but the shots are 7-1 Bruins. This is good. This is good stuff. 2:40 left of the period. Huge missed opportunity, but it's going to be okay because Wahlstrom catches up to a puck along the back wall, and he's going to whip it over, still on the back wall, to Frederick, who's behind the net. He is going to poke his head around that net, and Coyle is all alone in the slot. All alone. Later in this video, I'm going to talk about shooting the puck. There's an asterisk, though. Why would you not pass to the wide open guy in the slot? Instead, he just tries to wrap it, and he doesn't have Stuart Skinner off the post or anything. He just tries to wrap it against and squeeze it through Skinner, who just seals this up easily. Puck's to the net. Not going to harp on it, but Coyle's got to be sitting there like, what? I'm alone in the slot? It's so rare for a hockey player to be alone in the slot at a professional level. You know how disappointing that must be for him to be just like, okay, Freddie, great. The only reason I'm not really upset about it is because on the ensuing clear, there is a mishandle by Emstrom, and it allows Carlo to punch the puck right back up to Kostelic, who skates down the right wall under the right circle, goes in on net, has a sliding defenseman by him, who goes down on one knee. Kostelic just puts it on his backhand, goes around the defenseman, and when any goalie will tell you, when it's on the backhand, the launch angle, the release, it's tricky to tell exactly where the puck's going to go. Whereas when someone's snapping from the forehand, you can it's like playing tennis, if any of you played tennis. But you watch the motion and you go, I know where that's going before it actually gets off the racket, before it actually gets off the stick. It's not 100%er kind of thing, but it really helps you get in the right positioning. On the backhand, that's a lot more difficult. It's actually why Sidney Crosby, amongst the many other things, is such a dangerous guy and known as one of the best backhanders in the league, because you just can't predict a shot super well, and he's so accurate with it. Either way, Kostelic is basically Crosby. He goes far side on Skinner, and it's 2-0 just like that. At the end of the period, 2-0, shots are 12-5, and this was a huge period for the Bruins. This is what you're built for. And we're going to talk second period. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. 3:47 in. Zadorov trips Bouchard. 24 minutes of play before a penalty against this team. I will take it. I'm not mad at Zadorov. This was a great move with speed. Zadorov tried to recover. Got him in the skate. Fine. I'm so accepting of things against this team right now because I thought the Bruins played one damn good game against a good team that they were gassed. They were clearly gassed by the end of this one. We're going to go to penalty kill. We kill it. This is your identity, right? You built an early lead, which isn't even your identity, but you built one. That's massive. And you're 8 minutes into the second period. It's an all Oilers so far. This is your identity. You have the goaltending, or supposed to have the goaltending. You have the defenseman. You have the size. This is your identity. When you have a 2-goal lead, you are smothering. You are opportunistic the other way. You take your chances. This is what the Boston Bruins need to be this year. If you have a multi-goal lead, you are impacting them physically over and over and over again. You are not giving chances in high danger areas because you have the reach. You are frustrating to play against. And I promise you, the Oilers did not skate off this ice going, wow, what a nice game. That sucked for them for a huge amount of time because even when they were in the offensive zone buzzing, they are getting rubbed out on every opportunity. Don't laugh. That's a real term. But they are getting mashed into the boards over and over and over again. And yes, they're making the pass and it's getting to another player. If this was a 7-game series, and this is where people talk about the size and everything like that, the Zadorov compliments, which again, even though Zadorov brings this, I'm not a big Zadorov guy. It's fine. But through a 7-game series, if you have 8 forwards and 5 of your 6 defensemen being physical over and over again, there's benefit to that. Obviously, this is one game, but the Oilers were not enjoying this. This is your identity. You have a 2-goal lead. Just do the right things. Easier said than done against a team like this. Also, 8 minutes in, McDavid pulls down Marchand to the power play. Our power play is pathetically predictable. And McAvoy, the one part of this play that I really want to, power play that I want to point out, it's not all on McAvoy. That's ridiculous. But at one point, McAvoy has the puck on the right wall. And he feeds it down to Marchand, who's down below the goal line on the side of the net. And he's going to feed it right back to McAvoy. And when he passed to Marchand, I was like, great. Because I saw Pasta, and he's like, in the other circle. He's like, give me the puck. I want to hit it really hard. But McAvoy goes, okay, that lane's not really there. It's a little there, but you can tell that the penalty kill is baiting it out. They're like, we know that's where you want to go. We're going to give it a little bit of space, but we're so ready to stop that. Passes to Marchand. I go, that's right. Do not force that play. Do not force it. Understand that you have to find a different avenue here. Marchand passes back to McAvoy. They close the lane further, and McAvoy still attempts it. It's knocked down clear. Never really got set up properly again in the power play. It's things like that. One of your biggest concerns with the coaching staff is like, hey, that's been a problem for about 14 months. Have we ever sat down and looked at the tape? No? Anybody? Like, are our players incapable of learning that same thing over and over again? Or are we just not asking them to change? At a certain point, you got to think we're just not asking them to change. Power play's awful against an awful penalty kill. Old news. That was the small negative portion of this I had. 8:43 in. Built for this, right? Built for this. The Bruins are in great shape in the D zone. Great shape. Bodies are covered up. Kostelic, he fails a clear. There's a board battle. He tries to kind of chip it off the wall and up the boards. He fails a clear. It's not great, but it is what it is. And Hyman collects it on that far wall, on the right wall, distant from the net. Swayman can perfectly see it. He's not screened, nothing. And Hyman just throws it to the net front. Great idea, Hyman. You know, get these pucks to the net. And it goes through Swayman, and it's a goal. From distance, at an angle that you should have this save 100 times out of 100. It's a softie. And I know some of you might respond with, well, Skinner gave up a softie. Well, Skinner's not getting paid $8.25 million to be a top 5 goaltender in the league. Our strengths are supposed to be goaltending and defense. Our identity is that. The defense was doing its job. Failed the clearance. I'll give him that all day. What are we doing? Swayman made some huge saves in this game. But we have to look at you have to make the silly ones too. I mean, we're going to talk about Swayman, but the Oilers were all over us. They were pushing at this point. Truly they were. This gave them so much momentum. And the Bruins never got pinned. They really didn't. They fought back through every minute the rest of the game. But the Oilers were buzzing. And this just boosted them so heavily. It's 2-1 now. The Bruins had done an excellent job of barely giving up any high danger chances. They were very, very good about slot coverage, net front clearances. They were very good about it. Swayman did not have a difficult workload up to this point. This softie is a direct correlation to us eventually losing this game. Obviously, it's a goal against. But it truly got the Oilers moving. I'm really disappointed. I genuinely am. Oh, wait, that's another negative thing. Okay, we're going back to the bottom. 4:11 left. Lohrei is going to go for holding. It's an awful call, but those happen. Whatever. We're going to go to penalty kill. And the penalty kill is great. 27 seconds. Now, they possess the puck a lot, and they're moving the puck around, but Swayman and the defense do the job well. 27 seconds left of the penalty kill. Marchand is tripped, and then Zadorov is slashed. They call one of them. They call a slash. So we're going to go 44 for 27 seconds, then an awful power play. Third period. We know that the Oilers are going to come up buzzing. I don't want us to go into a shell, and I genuinely don't think that the Bruins went into a shell. 1:18 in, a 2-on-1 off of an Oiler giveaway. Coyle, down the left side, goes around the sliding defenseman into the slot. He opts to pass, looking for the backdoor tap-in from Wahlstrom, rather than shoot. When he has no defender in front of him, he's one-on-one with Skinner. He's like 5 feet out, and he opts to pass. No shot gets taken on this play. Not great. We'll move on. 5:30 left. We're skipping all the way through. I was so entertained by the third period. There were plenty of scoring chances between 1:18 in and 5:30 left. Not enough for me to detail all of them, but I was so entertained. I'm just locked into this game. It was a great game. 5:30 left. A giveaway by the Oilers in the offensive zone leads to a Pasta in their defensive zone, our offensive zone, leads to a Pasta free chance in the slot. He handles the puck around a defender who's outreaching with it, everything. I get it. I think he had the opportunity to shoot from the slot. He had the reach on the defender. He opts for a behind-the-back pass to Geekie, who has a man draped all over him. I don't even know if this shot truly gets to Skinner or it's just a lame duck shot at this point. But Pasta opts not to shoot. What? I know I should be used to it, but what? 3:16 left. A cross slot pass after a turnover. Low glove. Swayman makes a huge sliding glove save. I want to point it out because that is a game-saving save. It's a huge save right when you need it. 2:21 left. Pasta, with the effort, tips the puck out of the defensive zone. Coyle looks like he's going to grab the loose puck in the neutral zone and keep it moving forward, but he gets stick lifted from behind, and it allows the Oilers to punch it back into the zone, where it's sort of a 2-on-2. There's one player coming down right through the center, and Zadorov, and I believe it's Lohrei, because the little line changes, they're kind of pinched in. This player passes it off to McDavid. Zadorov caught a little high by this. McDavid goes right around him. Am I going to dunk on Zadorov for this? No, it's McDavid, man. That guy's going to skate around most defenders in this position. And he does. He gets Swayman to open his legs and tucks it 5-hole. Squeaks through. And it's 2-2 late in the third. Go to the overtime. There's some chances. They're clearly gassed. But a bad line change about a minute in leads to a 2-on-1. Lindholm, from behind, catches up to Draisaitl, disturbs his shot, but the shot is still kicked out to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who collects and feeds Ekholm alone in the slot, who's going to bury this high blocker. It's a 3-2 overtime loss. Some game notes. I want to take the positive because it is worrisome that they couldn't get a clear when they needed one late in the third. They kept opting for the extra pass for the perfect play when they were up by a goal instead of shooting the damn puck. And there's clear hesitation by the Bruins vets as we get closer to the end game. It gets more and more evident as you get closer to the end. That being said, Game 5 of a 5-game road trip, plenty of reason to be tired. They salvaged 5 out of 10 points just after getting shellacked the first 2 games of this. I'm going to take a lot of positives from this one. They fought and scraped. They blew a 2-goal lead that they had early in the game. It's a really good team we're playing. And this Boston Bruins team, I think we're really getting a handle on who they are. I don't think they're a true contending team as currently constructed. That's not me like freaking out about it. I think there's potential for this team to continue to grow and become a team that no one really wants to play in the playoffs. But right now, there's a gap. And I think the Oilers are trending in the right direction. So are we. But the Oilers are trending in the right direction. And even though they're not super high in the standings, it's a really good team, and their superstars made big plays, whereas ours maybe didn't as much as we want. Swayman had some great saves. He really did. I thought the defense mostly did their job well tonight against a team that, is going to get its chances. And I thought the defense did a really good job, and Sway made some good saves, but I feel like he did let the team down in this one. That first goal, I already went in on. The Oilers were struggling to get anything meaningful to Sway. And after that goal went in, it just felt like they boosted. It was a real tough one to let in. I want Swayman to steal a game for us eventually. And in no way was this him stealing a game. Had we won 2-1, I would have sat there and been like, he didn't steal the game, but he played a great game. He played a really great game. But, we're not at great game territory right now. That softie is a huge letdown at a portion of the game where, you make that save, it feels like it changes the landscape of this one. Really bummed. I think Swayman's going to get this figured out, but it has not been good. It just hasn't been. And I did get some questions about moving Swayman down to the AHL, which I get it, but also we're not there. Also, he has a full no movement clause. You can't even move him if you want to. Let's talk about Wahlstrom a little bit. His debut. He strong on the puck. Simple game. I love sometimes when a player comes into a new team and they just keep it simple. Like dump and chase. He's really great at the forecheck. He gets in on the forecheck. He's winning board battles. He skates the puck into the zone well too, though, which I really, really like. I liked his first game. I really did. I know we were warned by a lot of Islanders fans like this guy sucks. Or at least I was. But good start. We'll see. Good start. I will happily take a simple third-line player, dump and chase, effective on the boards, skates the puck into the zone, second power play unit if he can get there. I will gladly take that. Gladly. Osterley Carlo. One of Carlo's best games in a long time. In a long time. Osterley, the analytics say he was excellent. I am not a player. I'm not a player. I am not a fan who relies on analytics or eye test for all of my opinions. I hybrid those, right? I disagree with the analytics. I don't think that pairing works. I don't like the way Osterley treats the puck when he has it on his stick in our defensive zone. I don't like the blind passes that he throws around. I don't like that he panics even when he has space. And I do appreciate what Osterley's trying to do. I really do. I don't think this guy's a terrible defender. I think he's best suited as a 7th defenseman, but he should not be playing in the top 4 of a lineup. Now, of course, right now, with underperforming guys like Lohrei and Peak, and Wotherspoon not having the flexibility as a player to play a different kind of role, Osterley's your best option. I'm really struggling with him. I really am. It's not like dire. And the analytics, again, say he was great, but maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm alone in this, but I appreciate Osterley playing above his station and he gives a shit. He works hard. I just think he's outmatched right now. My last game note, this is what I want. I want Geeky Zakapasta. That's not my ideal, but with the current constructed roster. Marchand, Lindholm, Coyle. I was really sad to see that we didn't go back with Coyle on the right wing to start this game. I just think that'd be fun, and I want to try it because I think it'd be very effective. Frederick, Patra, Wallstrom, Kostelic, Beecher, Kepke, McLaughlin, fill in another player, Duran. You know, I really like that. I want to see that, and I need to see Patra back in the league. I don't understand what we're doing right now. The guy's at a point per game as he, like, the first couple of games in the AHL were him getting not up to speed down there, but playing that style down there. And I'm sure he mentally was pretty dejected when he got tossed down there. And you look around and you go, I get why. No one really understands why you were sent down. Or some people think they do, but I just don't agree with it. I want to see him back up. I want him seeing centering the third line or in the top 6. I'm super fine with that too. But Coyle on the right wing makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, and I wish we would go back to it. I doubt we will, but it's just something I wanted to get off my chest, my chesticles. Ooh, this is kind of a wordy one, isn't it? Go Bees. Go Bees! And now it's time to say thank you to the high-quality inspectors. I appreciate each and every one of you. There's over 100 of you at this point. And I love doing these thank yous at the end, but I think we're reaching such a volume that I have to rethink this strategy because you're all so incredible and so supportive. But this is getting really long, and there's got to be a better way, right? But let's start the thank yous, of course, with the top line tier. Dampen, Chris and Erica, Negev79, Trial Exotic, Jeff McGugan, Brad Yaati, Andrew Peterson, Zenon Noel DeGuy, Donald Shelton, Anakin Palpatine, The Rat 63, Lola Cattingsworth, EKM Productions, Moonlighter TV, Big Bad Bruin, The Bugman, Adam Ella, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, Roland 22, GD Viperworks, Len Cruz, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. You're absolute legends of this channel, and you're very appreciated. And now, of course, to our all-star tier members. Lorenzo Wood, Jake Brower, Penny Pasta, Levi Catalani, Boston Stringler, Bagel, Jacob Pratt, Nightmare Eco, John Kirk, Ann Hustis, Joel, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tupton D. Tashi, Bruin Smash, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. Absolute stallions, every single one. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being a part of the channel. I cannot express my gratitude. Go Bees.